Hey everyone, I am 3D Printing Maniac and welcome in the first part of tutorial how to create skeleton key from Skyrim. This is how the printed model looks like. There will be three parts. The first two about modeling. I will show you step by step how I made this model. And the third one will be how to prepare the files for 3D printing. I don't have too much knowledge how to paint models, so there will be only a speed it up video. For this project I will use the Rhino 3D. I'm sure you can use any other CAD software because they work in the similar way. If you decided to follow me and create a model like this, the picture which you can use as a blueprint will be below in the description. I made those blueprints from my model, so they will be a clear orthographic view. So let's start. Okay, so let's start modeling. I am inside the Rhino. At the beginning I like to create the three layers: model, trash and pictures. Trash layer is hidden, as you can see. So we will start from import the picture of our skeleton key. I took some screenshot from the game. And move this to the side layer, change the transparency. You can move this a little front. And at the beginning, we will set up the correct scale. So, and the way which I like to use is create the rectangle from the top to the bottom and create the line with the correct length on our physical model. So I want it about 15 centimeters. My units are millimeters, so it will be 150 millimeters. Okay, and now just select our picture and rectangle and use the scale tool. With the snap to the end, select the bottom, top and the end of the line. So now this is the perfect 15 centimeters. Now let's move this to the middle. Something like that. Okay, and this layer we can lock. So we will start from this sphere. So add the sphere and move it to the 0. So it's exactly on the center. And this is not the perfect sphere. So we need to scale this in the z-axis. Something like that. Okay, now we will add the top view. So again, set up the transparency, move this to the top layer, move this to the center. And now we need to scale this a little up. So the origin point will be 0 and just scale it up. Okay, now we will add this detail. So okay, let's add the circle in the middle. Now add the line straight from the center. Oops, I didn't lock the layer. Okay, now use the offset tool through the point on the one side and the second. Now we need to use the polar array 5 times. The center is 0. My keyboard doesn't work. Center 0, number of item 5. Okay. Now select the circle and those lines, hide the rest, select them and use the trim tool. Okay, now we can connect this unhide everything and remove those lines. Now we need to use the offset tool, offset surface, let's say about 0.5 millimeters. Okay. We need to separate these two objects. Okay, so this is the one and this is the second. So we will choose the bigger and select those lines, hide the rest. Now use the extrude tool, extrude. Okay, and use the again polar array 5 times, center 0 5 times. And now just use the solid, create solid. Select everything, accept, and now just remove this and hide everything. Okay. Now we will add the those dots. Actually, it should be. It's okay. So we will add those dots. So for this, I will create the line from the middle again and use the project curves. Okay. Now we need to create the points at the beginning, at the first dot. So it is about here. And it will be around here. Okay. So select points and curve. And again use the trim tool to remove the ends. Okay, now just use the sphere at the end. Maybe something like that. And use the array along curve. Select path curve. Nope, this one. Okay, and number of items will be about 15, I think. Okay, the line we can delete, and let's group this and use again polar array. Center will be 0 5. Okay. Now we will create this pattern in the top, so I will start from the circle in the middle. And from this shape, I will create the ellipse. And use the cage edit, bounding box, C-plane, point count can be 4. Accept, and play with this point to create the shape. Maybe something like that, okay. And move this to the middle. And use the polar array. Maybe let's rotate this first. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now let's use the project curves and select this surface. From the bottom we can delete this. And here we will use the split. Okay. Now, use the offset surface, flip everything, and distance, let's say, .35. Okay, now we can delete the top and connect everything. Okay. Now we will use this pattern, but first we need to rotate our sphere, our parts. So let's center of the rotation will be 0 and angle will be 180. Okay. So now let's see. Maybe we will create the new layer to be work. So I will hide everything except the sphere. No. Okay. Now let's create this pattern. So for this I will create the straight line. Let's lock this and use the rebuild curve option. The point count will be 4 degree 3, and now I will play with those points. And I like to create the round shape like this because when I have the point count one number higher than degree, I'm sure the curve is round perfectly. And maybe I will change the color. Okay, and to close those lines, I will use the adjustable curve blend. Okay. And I will do the same thing for the rest of pattern. Okay, now let's unhide our sphere and maybe move this a little more to the middle. Okay, now we need to again move the project curves in the front view. Something was I select the wrong surface. Okay, let's try again. And now use the polar array. In the top view, center 0, number 5. Okay, now use the split, select cutting object, so select everything, accept. Now we can hide the sphere, we can hide the curves, select everything and use the offset 0.5 millimeters, accept. We do this in the wrong side, so let's do this again, but flip all. It doesn't work, so we need to write F. Okay, now accept. Okay, and now we need to, actually we can delete those and remove the top surface. Here I don't have top surface, I don't know why. Or I have it, but there was some visual bug. We need to remove this. Okay, and now we can repeat this 5 times again. Okay, now select everything and connect. Okay. So now we will add these dots. For this we will hide everything and create the arc. Around here, something like that, and use the offset tool. Okay, now at the point in the first dot and the last one, so something like that. Okay, and trim the lines at point at the end of this line and use the array along curve, so it will be 6, here will be 6 and here will be 4. Okay, this we can delete, and the dots we can project on our sphere. Okay. Maybe let's move them first. Okay. Now project, rank. Okay, and this we can delete. Now let's create the small cylinder. Say it will be 0.6, 0.6 and 1 millimeter. Maybe we can scale it a little to create a little bigger cylinder. Okay, now let's add the fillet on the bottom. No, sorry, the first we need to add the circle in the middle. So for this we can use the extract isocurve. Now use the fillet. Okay, and now we'll use the orient on surface. The base point will be the center of our circle. Reference point will be somewhere in the circle. Surface to orient on. Okay, and copy yes. Now snap the point and create the, I don't know how to say that, things to which will be used to cut the holes. So now use the first we need to write this 5 times. Okay, we can delete the circles and use the boolean difference. Select everything, accept. Okay, this we can move to the trash layer and looks great. And the last thing, we will cut this. So just create the straight line. Extrude. And use the trim tool. Okay, the plane we can delete. And just close the holes. Okay, so this is everything for this part. In the next part we will create the rest of the key. So thanks for watching and see you in the next movie.